My next guest is blonde, beautiful, and built for the fast lane. Melissa Perry is arguably the #1 exotic car broker in the country, with over 20 years of high-octane experience and a Rolodex that reads like Hollywood guest list. From A-list celebrities to tech moguls and hypercar collectors, Melissa moves in a world most only dream about. She starred in a reality TV show, $1 Million Wheels, produced by Jamie Foxx, featured stars like Kim Kardashian and Spider-Man himself, Tom Holland, plus the rarest Rolls-Royces, Ferraris, and my box on the earth. When she's not closing seven-figure deals, she's hosting Orange County Cars and Coffee, a legendary weekly car gathering where collectors and fans roll in to show off the hottest wheels on the West Coast. She proves that faith isn't just part of her life, it drives everything she does. She loves Jesus, she lives boldly, and proves you can love God and fast cars. Welcome, Melissa.
Wow, thank you so much. That was the best introduction I've ever had. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
We've never met.
Yep.
And I've got to admit, like yesterday on the plane, I was looking you up. That's like where I got this introduction. And it was very fascinating.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So before we get started, tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Melissa Perry, and I am in the exotic car space. I sell exotic cars, hypercars, also luxury cars, and I've been doing it for 22 years now.
22?
Yes.
Okay, I said 20. I thought it was 20. So, how we met.
Yes.
I have to ask, so I know you're married and your husband reached out to me so we live in a neighborhood with a private gated beach.
Yes.
And I think he started following me on Instagram, and he just seemed like such a nice, genuine man, and we started messaging. And from what I recall, he messaged me and was like, do you mind if we come on your beach, and I'm going to surprise Melissa to ask her to marry me? Is that what happened?
Yes. So it was actually, you were honestly the intricate part of us getting engaged. So thank you first and foremost. And we're literally just meeting for the first time in person, and I'm so excited. So Dan actually had put this whole story together where one of my clients had said that a friend of theirs that lived in your community had a huge car collection, and he was looking to move but was looking to sell a big collection, and he wanted to meet with me in person, wanted to show me the collection. So I had prepared myself to have a serious meeting, to meet this guy, to be prepared to look at all of his cars. And so we get through the gate, and my client, who was a part of the whole story, canceled on me last minute. So we go through the gate, and I get a text saying, I'm so sorry. I have a family emergency. We can't be there. And so therefore, can we reschedule? And I just was sitting there in my car thinking, babe, I just got canceled on. What do I do? And he was like, well, we're already dressed up super nice. Let's go to dinner. But before we go to dinner, this is like my favorite beach. I've always talked to you about this beach, which he has. Like, this is his favorite location in all of Orange County. And I had been in the past, but like I didn't remember, exactly what it was. So he's like, let's just go down really quickly. The sunset's about to hit. Let's go down there really quickly, and then we'll go to dinner, and we'll have like a fun night. I'm like, okay, sounds good. No big deal. So we're literally walking down the stairs, exactly where, walking down the stairs. And right before I hit the sand, I go, Dan, it'd be so funny if you proposed to me right now, but I know that's not going to happen, and don't worry, I know what's coming. And I didn't even think that he actually was. I just thought, wow, what a setting this would be. So we start walking to the water. There's other people there that are sitting. I never would have thought it. And then, he goes down towards the water and like picks up this shell, and he's like, oh my goodness, check this out. This is so rare. Have you seen this before? And then he opened it up, and I just start crying, and I'm like, no. And I'm saying no, and I'm like doing a circle, and our friend is videotaping us. His family's behind us. Everyone was there to surprise us behind the rocks. And
you had no idea?
Literally had no idea. I thought that I would know when the day was, coming. Had no clue. I was like preparing myself for a meeting. I thought it was a total business thing.
He set that up perfectly.
He set it up, and my client was a part of it. You played a massive part of it, because this is where we got engaged, on the beach right in front of where you live. And so thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome.
He said that afterwards how he reached out to you, but he's like, she's amazing. She was so nice.
Oh my gosh. So that's quite the story, because I feel like women, we have that intuition. Like
Yeah.
we know when you're probably going to ask.
Yeah.
And not only that, like the fact that you're like, hey babe, like this would be so funny if you
Literally,
asked
I
me.
said that, not like knowing in my mind, like, no, it's not going to happen. I don't want to put pressure on him. But I felt it in my spirit. And I was, whoa. Like, oh, yeah, no, that's
Okay,
not
so
going to happen.
he picked up, when did you know? Like when he picked up the shell?
Yeah. When he picked up the shell, and then I'm like, no. And then I just like kept saying no and crying. And that was it.
That's incredible. And how long have you been married?
So we got married on January 11th. So it'll be 6 months, July 11th, my birthday.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a great story.
Yeah.
I love that. So when Joe and I are here, we're oceanfront, we see a lot and engagements.
You do?
Oh,
I
yeah,
bet.
I'm all
I
about
bet.
it. I'm like, get the binoculars. And then sometimes they'll have small weddings and stuff down there. And I'm
Oh.
like, Joe, get your flip flops. Let's go. I want to go down there because
Yeah.
we can go by. You can still walk by, and kind of creep on the weddings, but like kind of keep
Yeah.
your distance. I think it's so sweet.
Oh, that's so nice. I
Yeah.
love that. I know it's the best. It really is the most beautiful beach in all of Orange County. I feel too.
I agree with you. Yeah. So Joe and I looked for houses for a year and a half.
Okay.
And the first time when we saw a lot, we went all the way from Malibu all the way up to
Oh, wow. Okay.
San Diego, La Jolla, looking for a year and a half. And the first time we saw a lot of beaches, but the first time we came here, we were like, whoa.
Yeah, there's just something magical about the space. Like honestly, where it's located, and then you have access to LA and San Diego. You're like in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's beautiful.
Okay. So I have to dive into this because, like I said,
Yeah.
I'm on the plane yesterday, like researching you. I'm like fascinated with these clips on YouTube of this show. I think it was on Disney or Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask your experience with that. It was called $1 Million Wills.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
When was that show? When did it come out?
So I filmed that show. It was on Discovery Plus, and then it was on TNT. And I think it's still on Discovery Plus. It'll play every now, like I think it still plays on those platforms. But I want to say it was in 2021. Yeah, that's when
Okay.
we filmed. 2021, 2022 was kind of like the time that we were filming, and then when it aired and everything.
So how was it? What was it like?
It was amazing. I'll be honest, for me running my own business, and I at the time didn't really have a large team of people to help me.
Mm-hmm.
So we filmed like probably like 4 days a week for like 11-hour days. And I'm still running my business throughout that time. I had an assistant at the time, so that really did help me, but it was a lot.
Yeah,
Because I still really was running my business. I wasn't just, and I don't want to say this, I say this with so much like grace, is that, for me, the show really represented like what we did. And sometimes, when you see reality shows, it may be like an idea of what someone does, but we really were performing at that capacity. So I still had to take calls. I still had to do car deliveries. I still had to do all the things while I was filming. So
It was Jamie Foxx, right? Didn't he produce it?
yeah, Jamie Foxx was the executive producer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I met him when I used to run the Rolls-Royce dealership in Westlake, California. So I met him there, and then years later, I got contacted by a company, and they said, we've heard about you. You're one of the only women, if not the only woman in the business that
Yeah, I
does what
thought
you
about
does.
that. I was like, oh, because, you're so rad. I was like,
Thank
of
you.
course they asked her to be on the show. And the other guy, is his name RD?
Yes.
RD, what's his last name?
Whittington.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, he's feisty.
He is. Yeah, we definitely do business differently. And in real life,
Okay, so on the show,
Yeah.
basically, was it a competition? Like who could sell the most or the money or?
Yeah, so basically it was a look into like our lifestyle, our world, in the sense of like we all compete with each other. So we're, I don't really know if he really does brokering still now, but we were like the top 3 in the country. There was a 4th gentleman, but he wasn't really involved in like our space as much as, the other 2 guys. But yeah, we basically competed. It's like dealerships, like different dealerships.
Did
that
you win?
compete. As far as like, it wasn't like a competition.
It wasn't a competition.
No. It was more.
I kept hearing him say,
Yeah.
I gotta beat Melissa. I need this deal.
Yeah.
Because, she just sold us rolls and I gotta up her. So I wasn't sure if it was an in-game competition.
It's more of like a competition of like, I guess who is the best in the business. I think that's kind of what he would always compete with me in terms of like the clients that I would sell to or the things that I would do. He was very, yes. And in real life, he really was competitive
Oh,
with
you
me.
could tell. Totally competitive.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of experience with reality TV. I don't really watch a lot of TV and stuff.
Okay.
But this house was on Selling the OC.
Oh.
And so they were here and they filmed for, I don't know, 6 or 8 hours. My husband and I were here, and then we invited a few of our friends, and we just kind of hung out in the back while they were filming.
Yeah.
And drinking some champagne and just like having fun, like trying to see how it went. But it was a great, neat to see behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I felt like some of the things were repeated a lot. Like, you know, they were in the kitchen. It was actually our designer, Frank Berry and Chris Light, our architect, that were on the show.
Okay.
Because Joe and I didn't want to be actually on the show.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could have been on the show, but Joe was like, no. And I was like, okay, let's just not. So, a few things, like they wanted to show off the house because it was a new home, and we didn't want to sell it. We did not want to sell the house.
Oh.
And so they one of their real estate agents was over here, and Joe was looking to see the value of the home because we spent years doing it. It's nice to know, like, you sleep better at night, you know, when you have. And so one of the realtors came over, and he was like, "Oh, we could put the house on the show." And I was like, "Okay, well, if we do that, we are going to put a ridiculous price. Like, there's no way we're moving."
Yeah.
So we just put it on the show and had this ridiculous price that nobody was ever. I was like, well, you know, I must be. We said $17 billion.
No way.
I swear to you.
Wait, was that on the show?
Yes.
Wait, I love this. Okay.
It's on the show, so it wasn't a secret because we didn't want to sell it.
Yeah.
And then I remember asking Joe, I was like, what if somebody like from overseas or someone, whatever,
Just offers the number.
was like, what if, and he goes, why didn't take it and run?
Yeah, we're going to take that number.
But anyway, seeing this
so
show
cool.
was interesting behind the scenes. They had to redo several scenes in a row.
Yeah.
Like if you were doing yours, I'm assuming that happened. They're like, can you guys say that again?
Yes.
That happens. But a lot of it seemed authentic and real.
Yeah, I think for me, one thing that going into it is that I wanted to represent myself in the way that who I truly was. So there'd be some times I think where things were, or certain scripts or certain things were promoted for me to do, but I would respond and I would just say I would never say it that way, but I'd say it this way.
Okay.
And so that's kind of how I navigated that whole world, because I think there's a lot of drama. They love the drama,
Oh, yeah.
you know? And for me, I understood that to a certain aspect, but also to, I wasn't going to let it make me look the way that I wasn't, because I mean, me as my company, I am the brand, like the face of the company. And I never wanted to represent someone who was not like authentic or professional.
Okay, so I saw a few. So on YouTube, it would only let you see, I don't know, 5 minutes of a clip.
Yeah.
And there was one clip, seemed dramatic,
Okay.
where another guy came in at a bar, and you and Artie didn't know that each one of you were coming.
Yes.
And I think at the time you seemed like you guys were mad at each other, or something had happened,
Yeah.
or a deal didn't go right. And I don't know, it seemed kind of like dramatic. And then you were like, oh, RD's coming. And then he walked in and he was like, oh, Melissa's here. What was that about?
Yeah. So Chadwick, the other cast member, was bringing us together, unbeknownst to us, into the same space. And RD wasn't happy that I sold a pretty big client who he was really good friends with a car. And I think he was upset that I ended up selling him the vehicle and his friend not going to him directly to purchase. So I think that's kind of why he was upset.
So on the show, did it get squashed?
Not really. No, not really. I think we kind of like, I think for him, he just like left upset. So, I mean, I was fine. I mean,
Okay, so
you lose some.
you said you're filming every day, or
We were filming like 3 or 4 days a week
3 or 4 days a
for
week?
about 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a gal on this show, Christina Wright. She's good friends with a lot of the Orange County housewives.
Oh, yeah.
And anyway, she's actually wants to be on there, so I guess you can like apply to be on there.
Oh, okay.
The point is, she was saying that like behind the scenes they create drama, but like the producers sometimes will tell the people on the show certain stories, like, oh, she said this about you.
Oh, wow.
That, and combined with like martinis.
Wow.
Like you feed them.
So they just feed them alcohol and they tell them like these like extravagant stories of who's talking about who.
Yeah, like that helps create the drama that the producers are looking for.
Interesting.
Okay, so there was another little clip I saw, was so freaking cool. So it was Travis. What's his last?
Travis Barker.
Barker, yeah.
Yeah.
So he came in and it showed, I mean, I've seen some nice cars. Before we get into cars, let me be honest with you. I don't really know a lot about cars at all.
Okay.
So this is like
That's
education.
okay.
I was on the plane and I told my husband after, I was like, that was so interesting, like to learn about cars. So Travis comes in with RD and there was this insane Rolls Royce like SUV and it was all white and it had like this blue, Tiffany blue interior and they showed the inside of it. And of course he bought the car, but I was excited. When I was watching the show, I was like, like the adrenaline that these cars can bring.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming in your business, you see that all the time.
100%. And I think a lot of people that are in like enthusiasts for like exotic and hyper exotic cars, there's like it's like art or it's like fashion. There's a history behind it. There's a story. And literally these cars, they're all handmade. And I've been to factories like the Rolls-Royce factory and other factories where these cars are literally, there's one person with one job of sewing the seats. There's one person with one job of like intricately weaving in the Starlight headliner. Like it's literally a handmade vehicle. And I think the history and the heritage about the brands as well and all those things, like people are enthusiasts and they love that, and they're driving art. Yeah.
I could totally. And then Kim Kardashian came in next, and that car, what was it? Oh,
The
it was
Mercedes,
a van.
The Mercedes Maybach. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
It was like the van.
A van? I was like, is that really a van? I didn't know they made those.
Mercedes doesn't. That was like an aftermarket designed van that they put, I think they use like Mercedes emblemming on it. But yeah, it was all like custom made.
Yeah, and then she's like, I want it all gray. And then there was this pop-up TV in there. And and then she's like, I have blah, 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 this many, my box and this many rolls. And, you know, she was like, I want to add this to my fleet.
Yeah.
I was like, go girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was it like working with some of these Hollywood stars?
Yeah. I mean, I work with a lot of high profile people, and I would say, honestly, they're just regular people. So I love working with them. I work with athletes. I work with, you know, CEOs of companies. I work with a lot of even just like actors or actresses. And yeah, it's a really cool experience. It's interesting because for me, I think I see everybody the same. And so I think that's what works well for me, is that I don't get intimidated. So if someone like powerful, let's just say like in terms of what people deem powerful in the Hollywood world, I don't get nervous.
Starstruck.
I don't get starstruck.
Yeah, I don't really either.
And so for me, it works well because then they feel comfortable, they can trust me, and then it's my job to protect them price-wise, to find them what they need, and just to handle the whole process. So you don't have to go into a dealership. That's basically what I remove from people having to do.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question.
Oh, okay.
How does it work? So you're a broker, and you're basically relieving time for people to have to do all the research.
So I would say even just like in the fashion space, in any industry, it's honestly, it's like your relationships, right? Your relationships help carry out so many different aspects of business. And so for me, my relationships are in the dealer space. So I worked for 15 years running franchise brands, so Ferrari, Rolls-Royce, Bentley, Bugatti, Lamborghini. I ran those brands for dealerships for 15 years. And so for me, I developed relationships with owners of dealerships, with general managers of stores. I was one of the only, I think I was the only woman when I was 22 to sell for Ferrari in the US. I think all the salespeople and managers were all men. And so for me, I developed a really great reputation in the business. I was one of the only women. And so for me, when I decided to venture out and start my own brokerage, that's kind of my in, is I have relationships with the dealers. So for instance, if you and your husband decide, hey, Melissa, we want you to look up for a Rolls Royce for us, and this is what we want. Instead of working at one specific Rolls Royce dealership, you can kind of look at it as, oh, wow, she has relationships and access to all 40 dealers in the country. And so I personally know either the owner or the general manager. They're all on my cell phone. So it's like I literally can call someone's, like today I just closed out like a 3-car Ferrari order with the general manager of a store, because mainly someone like yourself, if you're going in, you're dealing with a salesperson,
Right.
and they're not the decision maker. They're not the one who runs the group. So for me, I go to the source and they know I can call 30, 40 other dealerships. And so I can negotiate a better deal for someone versus them going into a store.
Okay, and you mentioned being the only woman in the space in the U.S. at the time.
Yeah.
Can you expand on that?
Yeah, so there weren't that many women at all selling cars. There are women probably in finance or working in the back office doing accounting and things like that. But as far as women that were selling Ferraris, it was a very slim number. Like I never met another woman when I was doing all my Ferrari training all over, even knowing all the dealers at the time. I never met one woman that was selling. So,
And how long ago was this?
so I'm 41 now, and I was 22 when I started selling for Ferrari.
And is there more women now?
Yes. I feel like there's more women in like the exotic car space. Ferrari, I still don't know any women that sell for Ferrari, but I know women that sell for Rolls Royce, sell for Bentley, Lamborghini, all those brands, and even luxury brands like Mercedes and Porsche. But yeah, it was a very slim number. If I think I was the only one. So
as a woman, did you find it hard to get the respect?
That's a great question. I think for me, I was determined to get respect, so I put the work and the effort into it. So my mind wasn't more of like, I need to earn your respect. It was like, oh, I'll show you that I can do it just as good as you can, if not better. So for me, I was coming in with like an entrepreneurial spirit. And so when I looked at it, and I tell salespeople this all the time, or even like business owners that have salespeople, is when you're in sales, it's like you have your own company within a company. So it's up to you how you want to run your company. And for me, I wanted to know everything about the business. So I got really lucky when I was 22. I'm sure you and your husband have been to a dealership. For me, I learned every aspect of the selling process. So everything from telling you about the car, describing it, knowing all the specifications about it, to I was the one dealing with the banks when I was submitting clients for finances or for leases. I was the one negotiating with the banks. I was the one printing the paperwork, not a finance person, and I was the one delivering it. So I basically learned the entire process of selling a car, to where you would come in to deal with me and you would deal with nobody else. And that was very rare, and it still is very rare in the business. And that's what helped me, I think, over time to start my own company.
And how long have you had this company?
It'll be 6 years this month.
And
in
how many
June.
people work for you?
Just me right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's why you're so busy.
I am. I'm in the process of hiring someone in operations. I'm not ready to hire salespeople yet. I've had assistants, but it's interesting. I think I've learned a really big lesson as an entrepreneur is, for me, I was young, I was given opportunity, and I was hungry. So for me, I'm like, I want to hire someone who's young, who's hungry, who wants opportunity. But it's interesting. I think, unfortunately, today's generation of younger people that want to work, they don't really want to work.
Yeah.
So I found it hard to find someone that wants to stay longer than, a couple months, because I think when people look at my Instagram and they look, what they think my lifestyle is, oh, she's going to lunches and driving exotic cars all day, and she's, with the wealthy, just living the dream. Like, I want to live the dream. But it's a lot of hard work, like the behind the scenes, like the phone calls, the constant follow-up. Like, it is not an easy job. And I think once someone realizes it, like, oh, wow, this is a lot of work, they don't want to
work that hard.
They don't want to put in the effort.
My husband gets asked that question all the time.
Yeah.
How do I get where you are today?
Yeah.
And his such a simple answer. He's like, it's hard work.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, but isn't there like a pill I can swallow?
Yeah.
Or isn't there some trick I can do? And it's like, No, you're the first one to show up and you're the last one to leave.
Yes.
And you're willing to put in the extra work. And I can tell just looking at you, by the way, you look fabulous.
Thank you.
That's you.
Thank you.
And so oh my gosh, speaking of looking fabulous.
Oh, okay.
I forgot about this.
Okay.
You guys, I always say what I'm wearing and what the guests are wearing. And I forgot until just now, speaking of the word fabulous.
Okay.
Melissa, what are you wearing?
So I have a mix of things on, but right now I'm really into Reformation. I don't know if you're familiar with the brand. So my pants are Reformation, my top is Reformation, I have my belt is Saint Laurent, my boots are Alexander Wang, and this actually Cindy Crawford and her daughter did a collaboration with Zara, and so it was like a higher end like line with Zara, and so this is actually their real suede jacket. It was not cheap, but it is Zara.
Oh,
and
I love Zara.
I love Zara, but like I love mixing everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, I read. Did you read the Crazy Rich Asian books?
No, but I saw the movie.
Okay, so
and it was
the
amazing.
books are better than the movie.
Really?
You have to read the books.
Okay.
I mean, with all your spare time, you
Okay.
have. But I remember one. It was either the movie or the book, but there was a scene in there because the Crazy Rich Asian lady, the main lady that wore she was the billionaire, like the really expensive one.
Yeah.
She was the one everybody would follow in fashion with trends, and like all the girls would go in like, oh my gosh, what is she wearing when she come into an event? And I remember that one scene, she was like, this is Zara.
Yeah,
and they didn't even have a clue, like they wouldn't even guess. And that's what I love about Zara, because you can have on, your fancy Dolce or whatever, and then you have a Zara jacket or whatever, or wrap. I have a Zara wrap that I've had for 15 years and I still like it.
I love it. Yeah, I love mixing in certain things, and it doesn't have to be expensive.
No, it doesn't.
But I like a classic, sophisticated look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you.
Oh, thanks.
A lot of people will just listen to this and they can't see, so I want to explain like how fabulous you look in your hair. We've already talked about your hair; it's fabulous.
Thank you.
Okay, so real quick, I have Alice Olivia pants on. Ooh,
Beautiful.
I have a Brunella Cucinelli blouse on, and it's got like this mesh gold underneath, and it's like a halter top. I love it.
It's gorgeous.
And then my pink Valentinos, which I loved them so much, I got them in black. And then this hat, I was in Nashville at one of those really nice boutiques where they like curate everything from around the world.
Wait, I love it.
And like this hat was it's kind of like a fedora with little feathers.
It's so pretty.
It's really cute. I
really
like
it's like a light. It's like I love the green.
Yeah,
it's like a green. Yeah,
yes, that color.
Yeah.
Anyway, so loving fashion, and I was going to actually ask you too. You seemed like to have a passion for fashion. Did you ever think about getting into fashion?
That was that's so funny you asked me. So my first interview with the Ferrari dealership before they hired me when I was 22. I was working for, have you ever heard of Modern Luxury Media?
Yeah.
So like Riviera Magazine, they have Modern Luxury like all over, they have like 13 markets, maybe more now. But I was doing sales for them. I was just out of college doing sales for them. And at the time I was just doing San Diego. And then I convinced the corporate office in New York, I said, I shouldn't be just selling in San Diego. You need to give me all of your corporate brands. Like I will sell corporately. I will get all these major brands involved. And they're like, who is this 21-year-old? And so I actually got Ferrari involved in like an event campaign through like marketing events, not through paying for ads, because Ferrari doesn't need to advertise. So they had heard about me. They had heard about like the event activations that I did. And so I thought I was coming in, not for an interview, but I thought I was coming in to like, they were going to do an event campaign with me. And so he offered me the job right then and there and said, I think I can't teach what you have, but I can teach you about cars. Do you want to sell cars? And I said, in my mind, I'm like, no, I'm really wanting to be a fashion designer and start my own brand and start my own collection.
So crazy.
And so I
didn't have that look about you.
Oh,
like
thank you.
You'd be such a, badass CEO of fashion.
Okay. Are you familiar with Zach Posen?
No.
Okay. Zach Posen is like a super high fashion designer. Out of New York. He was a young kid at the time and he was coming out with his collection. Everyone from like Natalie Portman, like he has Oscar dresses, a ton of A-list actors wore his stuff. But at the time he was just like coming about, and one of my longtime mentors and friends was financially funding him to start his brand. So I had to make a decision if I was going to stay in San Diego and work for Ferrari, or I got an offer to go to New York to start working for Zach.
Oh my God, how do you even make that decision?
And so in my mind, I said, okay, I'm not certain that I will go to New York. I'm not certain about Ferrari. So I made the decision, and something my dad always taught me in business is that if you're going to do something, give it an entire year. And then you can make a decision from there, because you're going to go through so many ups and downs. You're going to figure out what you like, what you don't like. So that's what I did. I said, okay, I'm going to give this a year, and I'm going to sell Ferraris, and I'm going to see what I like and what I don't like about it. And we'll see if I want to stay in this business. And
That was 22 years ago.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. But yes, I love fashion.
Okay. I felt like, I don't know, you just have that vibe. Also something like looking at you, it reminds me a little bit of my younger self. I used to be an athletic director, and I was the only woman well, that's not true. I was not the only one, but in Texas, there wasn't a lot of women athletic directors. And I would go to the conferences and go, to everything they do with all the directors meet together. And I was, I don't know, one of two women.
Yeah.
And it's very intimidating, but yet certain women can pull it off with confidence and standing up straight, and at the same time dressing nice like a woman, because in that field, a lot of the women just have like more of a manly look. It's like, you don't need to fit in, like just be yourself.
Totally.
But you remind me of that, where like I can just see you like going into like a car dealership or one of the meetings or whatever with a Ferrari, and your presence and like holding your own and just making sure that you're building that respect. Is there like a story that comes to mind where where you felt like you needed to build that respect with the men around you?
Yes. And it's interesting because I've changed so much in the past, I would say probably 8 years. I would say over the course of my life, I was about 33 years old when something like massively happened with my health. And so before that happened to me, I think I walked into that space and that industry of no one's gonna tell, like, not like no one's gonna tell me no, but like no one's opinion really matters. Like, I'm doing this, like I'm just as good as the next person next to me. So I had a bit of, I would say I was confident, but almost to the point where my nickname, I'll just be honest, my nickname, I was known as like the bulldozer. That's what they called me. Because they said I would walk into a room and then I would just like leave a bunch of dust. And that was how I was known. I was like really confident, but I was very, like I wouldn't take anything from anybody. And I think I was more on the defense than I was more of like, okay, let me get to know this person. Maybe they're going through a hard time today. But it was like if someone was rude or difficult towards me, I was even stronger back towards them. And so I think I built this personality to where I felt like I was always on the defense and I was always having, like it's so much harder being a woman. I have to constantly prove myself. Like I have to know more of the product than a man does. I have to know more about this, more about that. And I really need to like actually work on a higher level for someone to take me seriously. And I think there was some truth to that, but I also think that I came into it with a personality that was not inviting. And
So
that
do you feel like you've gotten softer? Like
I've gotten a lot softer. And I think the biggest thing was in 2017, I was going to meet with Steve Harvey and his wife in New York for the unveil at the time of the Rolls-Royce Phantom. And when I was on the plane, and my mom actually was not supposed to be on the flight with me, I had booked her flight about 24 hours before she came from Arizona to Orange County. And I was on the flight and there was no one sitting in front of me, no one sitting behind me. And all of a sudden I heard this man's voice whisper into my ear and he said, "Something's gonna happen to you." And it freaked me out and I hit the back of my seat and it woke up my mom. And as I was going to my mom to be like, "Did you hear that?" I ended up passing out and having a seizure. And so my mom actively saw me have a seizure. And after I had the seizure, it looked like I was asleep. So they said that if it wasn't for my mom being on the plane, that I would have passed away because there was a whole emergency.
From the seizure?
Well, no. Basically, while I was in flight, and then we found this out after they did an emergency landing in Chicago. They thought something was wrong with my brain. I ended up having like a grapefruit-sized cyst in my right lung. And I never knew that it was there. And so when I was in flight, it expanded and it cut off the flow of the blood to my brain and my airway. So it caused me to have a seizure. But if I was on the plane for the full time, because it would have looked like I was asleep, because that's what it looked like after I had the seizure, they said that I would have lost complete like function in my brain and I would have went brain dead and passed away.
And your mom noticed, and could she wake you up?
So I woke up to people yelling and screaming my name. I had some random stranger. I could feel, I woke up blind. I was blind for 8 hours. They thought that I lost my eyesight, but I could feel someone holding my head and my body was laid across the seats and people were screaming my name. There was a husband and wife from Laguna actually that were on the plane that were doctors. They had given me an IV. So I woke up, but I was blind and I could barely breathe. So that's when they did the emergency landing. And we landed in Chicago. They told us all this news and they said, okay, well, you're going to have to get a major lung surgery. So either you could stay here or you could go back to Orange County on a train. You can't be in altitude. So we opted for the 3-day train ride and we're about 2 days into the train. And again, I hear the same voice. And
It's an angel.
Yeah, I know it was the Lord. Now I know it was the Lord.
Yeah.
And he said to me, he's like, get off the train right now and ask for a map. And we're sitting with these women at a table talking. And I look at my mom and I said to her, I'm like, we need to get off the train right now. And we're in the middle of nowhere. And she said, there's just absolutely no way. And I said, I give me a map. I need to see a map. And sure enough, the hospital had put us on the wrong train. We were going through the Colorado Rockies, which is the same, we're about to go through the Rockies, which is the same same pressure as a plane. So I would have had the same experience and I could have died. But like it was a 911 exit. Like the hospital had to call the train company. They were going to get a helicopter. They ended up dropping us off in the middle of nowhere. And of all places, I ended up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where I had emergency lung surgery. And I was there for about a month because I had so much air in my lung and you can't basically function when there's air. It collapses. So I was there for a month and then there began a 2-year-long journey of like fighting for my health and 3 lung surgeries later. If I told you my day-to-day, it was crazy.
Yeah, I'm so thankful that you're here.
Thank you.
That just kind of gave me the chills. That's such a story, and so thankful that God and Jesus protected you, and God or angel, whatever, like, and your mom, like that is, wow, that's really that's a story, a testimony that I bet now, you can tell, and it helps a lot of people with their health issues.
I think for me, that is when, like, I was raised Catholic. I became a Christian when I was in my early 20s, but I think that for me was a time where like I really connected with God on a completely different level. I came back after the lung surgery. I had another scare. The surgeon forgot to check my scan. And again, the voice saved me from, like, I was at home by myself, didn't know how to collapse lung. Ended up finding that out like 3 days later. And the 3 days before I was about to go to sleep, it was the first time I was by myself. My mom went home. And I remember I heard the voice again and he said, don't lie down, sleep sitting up. So I slept sitting up the whole weekend. And Monday morning, my phone is ringing off the hook at 5 a.m. and it's the surgeon. And he never checked my scan the week before like he was supposed to.
Oh, my gosh.
And he said, don't freak out. Call 911. You have a collapsed lung. We need to do another surgery.
How old were you?
I was 34.
Wow.
Yeah, 34. Fast forward, we ended up finding out the first surgeon put the wrong materials in my lung and I got tuberculosis in my lung. Because I was at that, now I was a point where like I was so sick that I called some of my clients, people that owned hospitals, were lung surgeons, heart surgeons. So they got me into UCLA, super hard guy to get into, Dr. Robert Cameron, who like is amazing. But basically he did the right thing and he tested my blood before I was going to go in for a 3rd lung surgery. And he basically said, I can't perform the surgery. You have tuberculosis in your lung. And if I open you up, you're very well going to go septic and you could pass away. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to set you up at Hoag and you're going to go to Hoag every day, twice a day for a year straight. You cannot miss a day. If you miss a day, you have to start all over again. And you're going to have to do IV infusions, kind of similar to chemo. But I had to go every day, twice a day for a year straight.
Like here, Hoag here.
So I'd go to Hoag at 6 a.m. I'd go to the Rolls-Royce dealership and work. And then I'd go back to Hoag at night. And I would get these infusions that were, kidney failure, heart failure, loss of eyesight, loss of hearing.
You did that for a whole year?
Did that for a year.
That was when you were
like
34.
I looked like this, you would never know, but I had a tube in my arm with a battery pack, and then I had a tube in my back, and it was on me. It was connected to me at all times.
Wow.
So I did that, and then after a year, the doctor tells me, I'm so sorry, it did not work.
Oh
so
my gosh.
We are going to have to do 3 more surgeries, and this 3rd surgery is serious. You have a high probability of going septic. I mean, and I always like tear up when I talk about it, but I literally wrote my parents letters. And at that point, didn't know what was going to happen with my life. And of course, I get out of the surgery, and still to this day, I'm a medical anomaly. Dr. Cameron comes in my room, and he's like kind of baffled. And I'm like looking at him thinking like, okay, what bad news is he going to give us? And he goes, hey, I want to pull up your scan. This is your scan a day ago. And this is just a day ago. And you see all this infection in your lung. I said, yes. And he goes, I went to open you up, and when I opened you up, it was completely gone.
Wow.
He goes, I'm not sure how this happened. I don't have any explanation for you. And so I was able to do everything in 1 surgery. You're completely done. We don't have 2 more surgeries.
Oh.
And so still to this day, Dr. Cameron, I always ask him, I'm like, have you ever seen this before in the 45 years that you've been doing this? And he says, no, I've never seen it. And I'm like, literally the Lord healed me.
Ugh,
but
that's incredible.
it changed
You're
my
a
life.
walking miracle.
Literally.
Oh, that's,
but it changed my
wow.
life for the business. So that's when I started my own company. And that's
Okay.
when I was completely changed. And you know, the
You
way
softened up.
Yeah, I softened up. And it's like, no matter how wealthy someone is, no matter where what their circumstances are, everyone's always going through something. So when someone is reacting in a certain way, when someone's, not kind, or, you just have to remember that everyone is walking through something that you may not know about. So it totally changed my perspective of how I went about business. And even how I treated people that were very unkind to me, which happens a lot in my industry.
Well, I was going to ask you that because it has to be a very cutthroat industry. And I was
Yeah.
going to ask you, is there like a story that comes to mind where cutthroat, that you can share? I don't know if it's like private, but
I don't know like any specific story, but something that I really learned, and I had to learn the hard way. And I always think like whenever something bad happens, like there's always something good in it that God's trying to teach you. And I think for me, I've always been like a handshake kind of girl, like, like a gentleman's handshake, as they say. Like when you say you're going to do a deal, or you say you're going to do something and honor your word, I'm as good as a handshake. I had to learn the hard way that contracts are really important. And, I've had a lot of mentors, so I thought, in my business that work on the dealership side, where I brought them like massive clients, really massive clients, and ended up not following through with their word and like paying me my fee to the point of where like it cost me 6 figures.
oh my gosh.
Probably like a small handful of times until I had to learn my lesson.
Sign on the dotted line.
Yeah, and then literally that's what I abide by. It's like we can't do a deal unless you sign the contract. And I know you're friends, and I know you're like family, but like I don't want there to be any gray area or that to ruin a
That's
relationship.
smart. Yeah.
So I had to learn the hard way.
So your faith, I'm a believer, a Christian as well.
that.
We've been blessed with so much stuff. Whatever you want to call it, Joe and I. And for some reason, I don't struggle too much with that and my faith, like balancing it, because I feel like God gives you, everybody has their certain lives and have been given what they've been given.
Yeah.
But I feel like God has done it so you could share it.
Amen.
Like that's
Yeah.
how I feel. Like it's like we're constantly hosting, we constantly have people over, and constantly giving. And I just feel like it's a gift that's to be given. And the story that you just said, you're in this business. It's got to be. Come on. A lot of car dealers are not nice. Like they're just aggressive. What's some of the adjectives that come to mind when you can't think of the business?
I can say I think aggressive can definitely be one of them. I think sometimes untrustworthy, and I think inauthentic a lot of the times. And I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of people, maybe not just in the car business, but like in general in business, like don't have a purpose. So when they don't feel like they're walking into their day with purpose and what their purpose in life is, or why they're doing what they're doing, I think a lot of those things come about because they don't even know who they are.
Yeah, I was just like how do you balance your faith and your love for the Lord with the type of business that you're dealing with?
I show people a lot of grace. And then I show myself a lot of grace because I'm not perfect. Sometimes things can get to me to where maybe I would have said something differently. But I think for me, I've learned to have grace for people, and I've learned to trust the Lord and not to strive for something so much to where I try to take it over and I try to control it. Because I think a lot of us can try to control what we want, and what we want and what we're going to get it on our own. And for me, I always am constantly have you ever heard of the term dying to self daily, to where it's it's not about me. It's more of okay, God, what do you want to do with me today? What are you wanting to bring to me today?
Absolutely.
And how do you want me to handle it with you alongside? Because it's so much easier to do it that way and incorporate him in everything. I feel like people struggle in business and even financially when they're trying to control it. Sure, you may have control for a certain amount of time, but over time, you usually lose control of that.
Yeah, and it's like a perspective of God's in control.
Yeah.
I think even when I was showering, getting ready for this podcast, I remember just to yourself, you say a prayer,
Yeah.
the Lord, help me ask the right questions, or guide me in a way that will help others, or whatever it is. And I think that's so important. And I can totally see you doing that in your industry.
Thank you.
Going into a deal, trying to get, you want to close a deal.
Yeah.
You bulldozer, is that what they called
They
you?
used to call me the bulldozer because I didn't have any finesse in how I spoke. A lot of people would ask me, "Are you from the East Coast?" And I'm like, "What does that mean?" But basically, I was really, really direct, but in a way that was not, soft.
But it's true. The kinder you are, even being a powerful woman, it's actually gonna. This, but it's gonna help you close more deals.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah,
because I feel like in a world that we live in with the cutthroat and the news and all the things, kindness, I don't know, it provides. And I feel like the Lord has provided for you in ways that you maybe didn't see coming.
Oh, absolutely. And it's funny. It's always this game, not this game, but this mindset of just remembering that God has me exactly where he wants me. And even if a month doesn't go well as I planned, or a deal doesn't go as well as I planned, always knowing that he's providing for me and just being confident in that. And to be honest, I always think about it too, is what is it all for? Because I know what it's like to be at the potential end of my life. I was in my mid-30s and very well knew I wasn't going to be here anymore. And I remember when I was faced with death, and what I remember was I didn't care what title I had. I didn't care what I owned, who I knew, how much money I had. None of that mattered, because at that moment, I'm none of this is going with me. None of it's going with me. Lord, give me another opportunity, because I want to impact other people's lives. I want to be able to be someone that, someone can turn to for prayer. I want to be able to be impactful in a way that's going to affect people generationally.
Absolutely. I was just going to say that it's all about the generational paying it forward.
Yeah, it's all about,
paying it forward.
Yes. And
when you go to Starbucks and you go, I'll pay for the person behind me.
100%. But you don't know that one thing that you do.
Absolutely.
How massively it could impact someone's day. You just never know. And that's what it's about.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to tell you this story. I was talking to my husband last night.
Okay.
And we had a Mercedes 580.
Okay.
Obsessed with this car. The lighting, everything.
It's a great car.
We had a Lexus. We had a Mercedes before. And before I met Joe, I was really into Lexus. I think when I met him, I had 5 Lexus in a row.
I love
that. That was that was all I wanted.
Okay.
I don't know if this is true, but I remember 30 years ago, Mercedes just weren't comfortable. So in the back seat, seats, I think they make them different now. But anyway, so the lease is up, and he goes to return the 580 in Dallas in the Grapevine dealership. And he goes, I'm like, you just go do your thing, because he loves making a deal. He loves negotiating.
Yeah.
I said, all I care about is the color. So call me, let me know what you find, and don't sign on the dotted line until you tell me the color and for the interior and the out and the wheels. That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
So he calls me and he says, I want you to come to the Grapevine dealership, but when they pull up, the Mercedes don't look surprised. And I was like, okay. I didn't really get what he was saying.
Yeah.
So I get there, and the guy pulls up a Maybach, Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, V8.
Yep.
Okay, before I go further, I have looked this up several times on how to pronounce this word. How do you pronounce it?
Honestly, people pronounce it differently. There's Maybach and Maybach. It's
Okay.
either one.
Okay, because I've looked it up because I'm like, okay, they're pulling up.
Maybach is great.
Maybach, okay.
Yeah, that's great.
Because they say Maybach technically isn't correct, so I'm just going with Maybach.
Yeah.
So anyway, so they pull up the Maybach, and he's like, don't look excited. They pull up the Maybach, and I go, that's a Maybach. And I was like, wow. So I screwed that up immediately. So long story short, we look at this car. It's the V8. It's incredible. Dream car. The first time I was ever in one was in Beverly Hills at the Waldorf Astoria. I think that was like their house car or whatever. So he gives the price of, the car. It wasn't the best color. And I'm sitting there going, we test drive it. I'm like, I cannot believe this is happening or maybe happen. So Joe sees this car around the corner, and it's another one. It's a white one. Mm-hmm. And we're walking, and Joe goes, what about that car? What about that one over there? And he goes, oh, well, that's the V12, the higher end luxury. Do you know what it's called?
Are you talking about the
So the V8's the V12, and it's like the 680?
Oh, yeah, the 680.
Yeah, the 680.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. He's like, what about that car? And he's like, oh, well, that car's a lot more expensive. And, we just didn't think that's what you were interested in because you already came in here for a 580. Now you're looking at the V8 Maybach. We didn't know you'd be interested in the 680 V12.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't give or take 40,000 more. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
So they pull that car over, and it's all white. It's the perfect color because I like white cars.
Yeah.
So Joe, when he gets on to something like that's what he wants. So he negotiates a price, getting this car for the same price of the regular V8.
Okay.
And a lot of times I don't talk about like pricing, but you can Google how much a Maybach is.
Yeah.
So essentially, he in his head, I think he had like 225 like in his head, and then the 680. I think it was like started at like 270 or something because it had some type of interior package to it.
Yeah,
lighting,
that made it more expensive.
Package. That was an extra 25,000. Anyway, long story short, he ends up going back and forth for a few days and gets this car for the same price that he had in his mind for the regular Maybach V8.
Oh, that's amazing.
I know.
That's awesome.
And he's so good at making deals. And we were talking about that before we even started this podcast. It's like, all you got to do is ask.
Yeah.
All they do is say no.
Yeah.
The point of the story, other than saying that my husband is a badass, is I want you to give tips to people if they don't have a broker and they're going into a car dealership.
Yeah.
Like, what do you not ask or what do you not say to get the better deal?
I never give a number up front. They have to give you a number. Like, what's your best price? And I think that's like the biggest thing is figuring that out. And I always learn doing things in threes. So even if, like, for example, I have a client that, I typically, my clients will deal with me if they're talking about cars, but if someone was going to go in, I wouldn't just buy the car from that dealer that you're talking to. I would do it in threes. I would get 3 different prices from 3 different dealers because there's programs on cars that some people don't know about. So like, for example, on like the Maybach or the Maybach, that car could have assistance money from Mercedes corporate. So there could be an extra $30,000 on that car, but the salespeople are not going to tell you that. So over time, if you're like looking in threes, you can see who's giving the better deal because it's not always the best deal with the one dealer that you're dealing with. That's something that I've learned. So for me, like I give options. So like if I'm looking for a car for somebody, I'm at a minimum probably for me talking to 7 to 10 different dealers to see what the best deal is. That's usually what I would say. So I never offer a number that I want it at. I always ask, what's your best deal? Right now, if I were to buy the car today, what would you give me the car for?
And what if they give you the answer and you just don't like the number? You can push them further.
Well, I usually do the walk away. I'm like, okay, well, I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And then I leave.
That's what Joe actually ended up doing. And then he went to another dealership.
Yep.
And then he looked online at all, because it's not like there's so many of those that you can get being the V12 680.
Yeah.
So that's what he did. He walked away, did his research. He's like, Oh, trust me, Amy, they're going to call.
Yeah.
They're going to call.
Yes, because there's a lot of buyers that, are buying those cars. And we're in a time right now where there's tariffs and people are kind of waiting for the market. And, people that can afford to buy still buy, but it's harder for dealers to sell. That's why they're willing to give better deals.
Yeah. I do have to ask, what's the most expensive, fabulous car you've ever sold?
Yes, I sold a vintage Ferrari. I sold two. So one of them was a Ferrari F40. I sold that for $4.2 million. And then I sold a vintage version of the same car. It was like one of 15 in the world for $9 million.
What? Mm-hmm. So are these, are they collector's items? That's what they call them.
Yeah. So these are cars that appreciate over time. It's like art or, certain things that appreciate over time. There are cars like that.
Okay. Did you say $9 million? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Where was it?
Where was the car? It was a European spec car. So it came from Europe, but it was sold to a client in Miami.
Oh my gosh. Did they ever drive it?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
So some of the cars that I was looking on the show, I was going to actually ask you that too. What's one car that appreciates and one that doesn't? So like, would a regular Rolls Royce appreciate?
No.
But so then like the specialty one out of 100 do?
So, exactly. Yeah. So really it's like production numbers, and also I think brand is a big thing. So with Rolls Royce is more of, a luxury everyday car. So those cars they make a lot of, not a lot, but like thousands of. So those cars definitely depreciate quicker. I would say when it comes to like Porsche, Ferrari, certain Lamborghinis, like some of those specialty cars, people that have been with the brand for a long time and are ordering the cars, they're getting them at MSRP and they could drive it for a year and still make money on it.
Okay. So if you're wanting to buy a luxury car, first of all, what are your favorites? What are your favorite cars?
That's a great question. I have a lot of favorites. I love Ferrari. Ferrari is one of my favorite brands. It was the first brand that I started with, and it's just the history of Ferrari, just the performance of Ferrari, and just like that the way that the cars are made. They're just like performance vehicles. So I would say like for a sports car, I love Ferraris. I think for like an everyday car, which I've never owned one, but I love them, and I think my next car is going to be a Porsche. I think Porsche is a great brand. Some of the product that they make has I think it was deemed in 2024 to be like the Macan. I mean, I'm probably more of like a Cayenne GT kind of girl, but like the Macan, I think it was like deemed like the safest car produced for 2024. But I really love Ferrari. I love Porsche. I love Rolls Royce. I was with Rolls Royce for 8 years. That's like, I think like the ultimate like pinnacle car.
That's Joe's dream car.
Is a Rolls Royce.
Is the it's not the Dawn, the convertible.
The Dawn.
The Dawn.
Yeah, the Rolls Royce Dawn is beautiful.
We randomly know two people that own one.
I think I saw you post it.
Friends.
Yeah.
And now he told me the other day when hold on. He told me the other day when she came over, and I was like, it was like white interior. It was so pretty. And my dream car was always the Maybach. Like was like, that's what I wanted. And now he's like, okay, that's really what I want. And they don't make them anymore.
No, they don't. Unfortunately, they don't. But there's some really low mile used ones.
So do they? We're going to close the deal. Joe's not even going to know. He's going to come home and I'm like, how'd the podcast go? Well, great. And we own a Rolls Royce Dawn now. Congratulations.
No, honestly, because I started with Rolls Royce before that car came out. And then when the Dawn came out, it was like, it's just, you can't get any better. Like it literally is a pinnacle brand for like an everyday, like super luxury car. Because those cars are meant to be driven every day. I mean, BMW owns Rolls-Royce. So like the technology, the product, all of that. But Rolls-Royce is definitely like
that's like
one of my favorite brands.
So dreamy when I got in that car. And then it was like a week ago, I went over to her house, her and her man, they're car collectors.
Oh, cool.
Of course, I thought about you because I knew I was going to podcast you. But they own 12 cars.
Amazing.
And the passion, like I go back to the passion they have. It was just like art collectors. They had... Cool. Gosh, I wish I could remember. I'm so bad at like knowing the car names.
Do you know what brands like Ferraris?
Yeah, so the Maserati. I think it was like a
yeah.
Maserati, but
Yeah.
it had Hermes material, the orange interior.
Yeah.
I was like stunned. I was blown away.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
So I go to her house, and I was like, you could see the passion and everything, like art collectors. It was amazing. And I wrote this down because I didn't want to forget to tell you. So they had 12 cars total, but this is just a few of them. It was I'm going to butcher this.
No, you
but
won't.
Oh
yeah, the Revuelto.
I've already butchered it. Revuelto Lamborghini.
Oh yeah, that's the most recent Lamborghini that replaced the Aventador. That's a beautiful car.
It was stunning. Okay, the Rolls-Royce Dawn, which I told you about, the Aston Martin Leggera.
Yep.
Is that how did I pronounce it right? She actually asked me. She was like, "Try to pronounce." And she was like, "Yeah, how'd you say that right?" I was like, "It's because I meant to own one." That's the one with the Hermes interior.
Oh yeah, that's
beautiful, stunning. And then she went to Hermes and got a bag just so it would match the interior. I was like, "Love this." Okay, the G-Wagon with the adventure kit.
Yep.
Girl, we went to Highland Park together in that. So Highland Park in Dallas, like Highland Park Village is like where the shopping is and where the restaurant is. It's outdoor. It's like where you go in Dallas for shopping. She's like, let's take the G-Wagon. And I'm like, oh, let's do it. So we get in this bad boy.
It's
and
massive.
It's massive. Yeah. And on the top is like this huge kit.
Mm-hmm.
A
rack type kit.
Oh, yeah, rack. And some of it's colorful and everything they do, they get, it's not called blacked out, but like what's that called when you get the outside redone?
Yeah, like a blackout package.
Yeah. So I mean, it was so fun. And she was like, "You'll see." Like, and of course we get to the valet, and people want to take pictures, and you got to hop up in there. But she said like that was one of her favorite fun cars.
I love the variety because
it's all over the place.
Different.
And then they have a souped up SUV Escalade.
Okay, yeah.
And it was amazing. And then they had a, she's going to kill me when she's like, how do you not remember these? But there was a race car that someone had actually won in the Indy 500. And it had won. And they bought the car and it just sits on the stand.
Kind of like
top,
an art piece.
Like the lift or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was just really neat talking to her because I'm not that into cars, but I'm starting to, especially like learning more.
Yeah. And honestly, I think fashion, cars, and real estate, they all kind of intermix like together. Like they all just go together for some reason.
I agree.
I feel.
And I feel like that I'm assuming some of these that she has will appreciate.
The Revuelto that they have, that car, if they got it at sticker, those cars were selling for, not anymore, but they were selling for like 100, 200 over at the time when they first came out.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. Like I sold a car. I'm in the process of potentially another really big car deal, but I sold a car for a client out of Orange County. I sold it to my other client, so I was both representing the seller and the buyer. But he got a Ferrari in 2014, and they're only 399 made ever. It was called the La Ferrari, and originally when he bought it, it was 1.4. Fast forward to 2021. So from 2014 to 2021, I ended up selling that car for him for $3.2 million.
Whoa. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. These numbers are crazy. I'd love it though. I can see it. Like, I think it's all relative.
It is 100%. It's all, yeah, absolutely.
I was podcasting my jewelry friend the other day and she owns this crazy diamond ring, like her wedding ring. It's really, really nice. And we were talking about that. It's like, people are judgy, you know? It's like you have this, you have that. It's like, it's all relative. I mean, I remember buying my first Coach purse and it was the same feeling that I got when it got, you know, you get the Coach purse and they put it in that really large bag and you walk out of the mall and you just feel so proud. Yeah. It's like the same moment that you've probably went through. What was your first car that you bought?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. My first car that I had was an LR3 Land Rover that my dad got me.
Oh, well, so that's really nice.
That was a fun
But it's
car.
like that
was my first
same
car that I
feeling.
drove.
Like no matter what your car is, it's like.
No, you're going to be happy.
Yes.
Take away the Prius.
Yeah.
Take away the Prius.
Although that was kind of funny. A Prius wouldn't give me that feeling.
No, take away the Prius. That was like my fifth car.
We're not taking it away. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That is cute.
Just kidding.
Yeah, but anyway, I do think it is relative. Like,
yeah.
And I think it's fabulous when people can afford and own and have some joy in their life. And I did want to ask you about the Saturday Cars and Coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Will you tell us about that?
So ever since I was working in the car space, I am a huge fan of marketing. Marketing for me, because I had a background in marketing, even though I was like still in college and getting out of college, and I was working for modern luxury media. So for me, they go hand in hand. So before I started doing Cars and Coffee here, I was known, when I was running the Rolls-Royce dealership. I actually opened up the one here in Orange County. That's what got me to move to Orange County. I opened up that store. I was with Rolls-Royce and a bunch of other brands in LA for like 8 years, but I was known to do like event activations. So like I do a lot of private dinners where I'm hosting people. These are people that are clients, or these are people that are car enthusiasts, but they don't know who I am. So I have like a mix of like car enthusiasts that are clients that are not clients. And we just have like a night where we like have dinner, have great music. I'll have, whether it's like Chopard or, Louis Cognac or other brands
Can
that come
I come
in.
to one of these?
Yeah, I'd love to have you and your husband. But like hosting dinners, because for me, it's not just about a car sale, it's about a relationship. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people think for like the deal in the moment. I have some people that I've known for a year that haven't bought from me. I know some people that I just met 2 days ago that have bought 2 cars from me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it all is relative. But for me, I'm all about long-term relationships. Mm-hmm. And I don't really have to sell cars in like the normal way. For me, it's about developing relationships, hosting people, getting to know them, getting to know their families, getting to know like their kids' names, because I want to be someone that is more than just like someone that sells them cars. And so that's what I've been doing for a long time. So for me, I wanted to have a way to bring in the community together. My community from church, but also my community of clients that I work with, because I have a lot of people that I work with that don't have any faith, that are non-believers, people that are like really unhappy, mm-hmm. and people that don't really have any purpose, even though they have so many different ways and like means in which they can bless other people financially, but like they have no like light or life mm-hmm. in them. And so I want to bring communities of people together just to like get to know each other. I love when my clients get together and network and do business together. So that's really what it was for. Mm-hmm. It's just like building community.
And they get together on Saturdays?
So it's basically one Saturday a month.
Oh, okay.
And it's in Newport Beach where my office is, right off PCH. And we have coffee. It's all hosted for free. Coffee, music, food. And then my clients bring their exotic cars and everyone just hangs out for a few hours and listens to good music and meets each other. And
how many cars do you have typically?
So this last one the most I've had is like 75. Mm-hmm. The last one was like 45. It's a good number of cars.
And so is it like, will people bring their fleets in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fun. Like a fleet of like friends will come in all their cars.
And then people can come in from the community and walk around and look at all the cars.
Yeah, and then people will sign up to get access to where it's at, like through my Instagram and social media. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I kicked it off last summer, and so I'm kicking it. I did it just last month in May and kicking it off for the summer.
Can I bring my Maybach?
Yeah, 100%.
Or Maybach or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really oh my gosh, before we wrap up, girl, I tried this service. It was incredible. It was my car, your driver, or something like that. Anyway,
okay.
You hire someone to drive your car.
Wait, that's amazing.
And it's here in Orange County.
Wait, I love that.
Yes.
And so you hire them, they come, and they'll drive you around.
Yes.
Wait, I love it.
Okay. Quick story.
Okay.
I was going, a friend of mine does this, and I was like, okay, obviously it sounds expensive. My husband's probably not going to go for this.
Yeah.
Turns out it was like not that expensive.
Okay.
I had to go to an event in LA, and like an Uber Black or whatever to get to LA, because it was 2-hour traffic, was going to be at least $300.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, he takes me there to this event on the other side of LA. I go to this fashion event. Me and my friend are in the back seat, freaking drinking champagne. I know you're not really supposed to, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the little, what's the thing that comes out so you can put your computer?
The picnic table.
Yeah, we have this table. We're in the back seat. The driver takes us there. He waits on us for the party.
Okay.
We're in there for at least an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
Drive all the way back. And it was $325.
Wait, that's not bad at all.
I know.
And it's to and from.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Right. So you got to look this up.
Actually message me this company.
You have to look this up. It was incredible.
That's so cool.
There's another individual that does it as well.
Okay.
You can go through the company, but I also have this other guy, and it's just him, and he'll do it. It's a little less expensive.
Oh.
You know what I mean? He charges $35 an hour.
What?
So me and my best friend's coming over. One of my best friends is coming over Friday, and He's going to drive us because we're going to go to this event in Dolce Gabbana. They're having like an event in Newport and go to eat.
So
and
he'll
then
just drive
$35 an hour.
That's amazing.
And you just feel so bougie.
Yeah, but then you don't have to like worry about driving, worry about parking.
Right.
And if you have a glass of wine or a glass of champagne, you're not, that's amazing.
Yeah, you got to try this out.
Oh,
I'm going to give you his
amazing.
number.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's a way to up the game. But then, of course, I told Joe after I was like, where do I go from here?
Yes, that's
if you have
actually
a
true.
driver, like where do you go from
here?
here?
You can't.
Anyway,
I
it was
think that's like
very
actually
fun experience.
the best that you can get.
Okay, we're going to wrap up.
Okay.
I have a quick car quiz test for you.
Oh my goodness, you guys.
So it's test your supercar IQ.
Okay. Are you going to ask me like specific? Oh my goodness. Here we go.
This is on the spot. No pressure. But you're gunning for a 10 out of 10 street cred. You're trying to get your street cred score. Are you ready? Okay. What car brand uses a spirit of ecstasy as its hood ornament?
The Rolls Royce.
Ding. Which hypercar brand requires buyers to take driving training before delivery?
Bugatti?
Bing. What luxury SUV did Rolls-Royce release in 2018?
The Cullinan.
Bing. Which luxury brand will match your car's paint to your lipstick, your wedding dress, or even your dog?
Ferrari. Rolls Royce and Ferrari, but Ferrari does that too.
Oh, okay, so you're probably right.
Yeah,
you're probably
right and
right.
Ferrari, and actually Lamborghini does too.
Okay, so bing. Which exotic car brand offers a model called the Revelto?
Lamborghini.
Bing. Kim Kardashian owns a custom Maybach van. What's the official name of the van it's based on?
Maybach.
I don't know this right. Bing or it says Mercedes-Benz V-Class or Sprinter, depending on build.
She has the Maybach van. She doesn't have the Sprinter. The one that she got on the show, that's the Maybach van. That's not that's not a Mercedes Sprinter. It was like a Maybach.
Okay.
Version.
Bing. What's the name of Ferrari's plug-in hybrid supercar?
Oh, the SF90.
Bing. G-Wagon, technically Mercedes, AMG, or just Mercedes-Benz?
No, Mercedes AMG.
Bing. Fastest street legal production car right now. Any guesses?
The fastest street legal. Well, there are a few that say that they're the fastest street legal, which is really interesting. I don't know if you know that. So Ferrari has one, but I feel like Lamborghini is going to have the fastest street legal car.
Okay, this says Koenigsegg Jesco.
Oh, the Koenigsegg.
How do you pronounce it?
Koenigsegg.
Koenigsegg. What she said. Jesco Absolute or Bugatti Chiron Super Sport 300 Plus.
Bugatti. Bugatti will, I feel like, beat Koenigsegg. They say that they're both the fastest, but it's like honestly, everyone says that they have the fastest street legal car.
Yeah.
So I really don't know. I'd actually have to look at the specification, but I think the Chiron Super Sport will actually beat the Koenigsegg.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so fun to be in the car. For me, I like to be in fast cars.
Do you ever go on the track?
Yeah. I did the track 1 year in Dallas.
We got to take you to Thermal in Palm
Yeah,
Springs.
and I passed somebody. I was in the race car, and I was the NASCAR
how
NASCARs,
fun.
and they put the suit on you, and like I love all things fast
Oh, that's
and
cool.
daring and like brave. Like I want to jump out of planes and stuff like that's my
Wait,
personality.
This is amazing.
But anyway, I want to do that with you.
It's a lot of fun.
Okay, last question.
Okay.
You're building a 3-car dream garage. What's inside?
Okay, 3-car dream garage. The first car that I think would be in there would be, I love the Cullinan. The Rolls-Royce Cullinan. Need an SUV to put the kids in it because we will have kids in Jesus'
Yay.
name. The SUV, yeah, the Cullinan. The next car. That's a great question. I love the Ferrari 812 GTS. So it's a V12, front mid-engine V12. It's beautiful, and it's a convertible, and it's a hardtop convertible.
Okay, so you have your SUV, you have your convertible. Number 3.
Number 3. I would say, I'm trying to figure out if it would be Ferrari or Lamborghini. You know what? let's go for the Lamborghini Revuelto.
Okay.
It's a 2-door coupe, super sporty. Dan can take that out. I could take it out. But then we have like the convertible or the SUV. So you have all three.
What's your favorite color for the car?
I love black.
Yeah?
It's hard to keep it clean, but I love it. I love black.
Okay. Well, you're very successful at this. I am not going to lie. Like, I was like, I mean, I don't know anything about the cars, but I was like, I
Yeah.
guess she's going to know all these. I was telling Joe, Joe was like, is she going to know all this? I'm like, yeah, like, I don't know any of it, but she's going to know all of it. But anyway, it's been a pleasure having you
been so
on.
fun.
And I can't wait to get to know you even more. I'm going to
you.
let Joe know that we're going to have a Rolls Royce Dawn now in our garage.
That's right. Congratulations, Joe.
Anyway, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mar. Thank you, Mar. And before we go, where can anyone find you?
So social media is probably the best way to find me. I'm at Melissa Perry, or I'm in Newport Beach. If you look up the Perry group, I am right in Newport, and you have access to my email and to contact me on my phone through social media or my website. And if you Google me.
Perfect. Well, next time we're getting a car, I'm calling you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. It's been such a pleasure.
Thanks, Melissa.